Hey everyone, it's T here with another video after what has been a very long time. I noticed that a lot of you guys seem to like the video where I discuss McDonald's visitors from outer space, so I figured, why not make another video on the Small Wacky series? And if this video can get at least 10 likes, I'll make another one on another episode, cause why not? So without beating around the bush, I'm just gonna jump straight into the video here for you all. Today, I'm going to be talking about the Legend of Grimace Island. No reason in particular, it's just the one that caught my eye first besides Scare Silly. But I figure that's more of a Halloween thing, so we're just going to hold off on that until later. If you've seen the previous video, I already talked about how the company Klasky Supo, who made such legendary shows as Rugrats and Wild Thornberrys to name a few, were behind this small short-lived series based on the restaurant Lovin' Clown. Now, it has been a long time since I've seen The Legend of Grimace Island, but I remember watching it a lot as a kid on my VCR, so I had to go back and watch it again to remember everything there is to talk about it. That being said, my VCR is kinda broken now, so I had to watch a recorded version left on YouTube. Link to The Legend of Grimace Island down below if any of you are interested. I highly recommend watching that first as there will be tons of spoilers ahead, and I don't want to ruin it for you if you do go to watch it later. Those of you who have watched it though, will sit back, get comfy, eat that Big Mac, and let's jump right into this one-of-a-kind wacky cartoon once again. So beginning the show off, we are once again greeted with a live action, which is a common theme in the show. I don't think I mentioned this in the previous video, but I have to say I personally am a big fan of this. It gives me a sort of Super Mario Bros. Show vibe to the table. And I am also a very big fan of Ronald's house, which kinda reminds me of Pee-wee's Playhouse. You know, speaking of things from the last video, Ronald's dog Sunday still kinda terrifies me. Nightmare fuel. As the short live action sequence progresses, we are greeted by Grimace on the computer, and my god, look at that 90s CGI all over the place. I absolutely love and adore it. Grimace proceeds to lay down a plot to us viewers, where Grimace receives a letter informing him that the island's residents, which just so happen to also be Grimace's, need his help and that there will be a treasure for him in doing so. It also tries to lay a joke on us where Birdie, another one of Ronald's friends, is playing a piano not so greatly.
Sounds great, Birdie. You can hardly tell it's Mozart.
And I really hope that there aren't any more jokes like this if that were even a joke in the first place. Moving on, Ronald also informs Hamburglar of the adventure they are about to partake in for the treasure on Grimace Island, and they all prepare to get together. While they are preparing to board the ship, a pirate overhears their plans to recover the treasure, and I gotta say, I wasn't expecting a villain to get introduced this quickly. While on the ship, they finally head to Grimace Island, where I personally believe Grimace carries the show. At least for me, he's my favorite character where he kinda reminds me of early seasons Patrick in a sort of way where he's dumb and silly, but not to the point that it's downright annoying. After this, Grimace finally drops lore on us. Yes, I know what I said. He's giving us McDonald's lore, which is something I never thought I'd be saying in my life. He tells us how many years ago Grimaces lived on Grimace Island and lived happily until outsiders came that were particularly mean to them, and they planned to steal their treasure after overhearing about it. To move the story on a bit faster, the outsiders stole some of the treasure, but not all. So the Grimaces hid the rest by moving the island away. Wait, what? They moved an entire island away? It's like that scene with Patrick wanting to move Bikini Bottom all over again. Unbeknownst to the Ronald and friends, they were being spied on by pirates the entire time who are now in pursuit of them to uncover the treasure. Later on, Hamburglar finds a map inside Grimace's pocket. Yeah, he has pockets. Yeah, I don't know, don't ask me, I'm just as confused as you are. Of course, they follow the map to get there. Now I'm skipping a lot of the story here to focus on the main parts of it. So if I missed a part where you wanted to hear me talk about it, I'm sorry, but feel free to comment down below and tell me what it is. I'll make sure to get back to you on my thoughts about the scene. As they travel, they drop a musical number on us viewers, which is a very common reoccurring thing in these cartoons.
Setting south to sail the sea, how exciting it will be. Wind and sky and majesty, setting south to sail the sea.
Personally, the music is okay, but I'm just not a big fan of musicals in general. And yeah, I know my friends kinda give me hate for that as well. As Ronald and friends make their way further on the ocean, they encounter several misadventures, such as having to fend off a giant kraken to name a few. Soon, the crew land on a whirlpool that takes them straight to Grimace Island, where they meet all the Grimaces where another musical number takes place. They later meet the Grimace leader, who is not happy about the visitors, rightfully fearing for his people that now others will soon follow in suit of their treasure. Ronald tells the leader that Grimace has a letter that told him to come, where he wrings the water out before giving it to him, which I have to admit, this did get a slight laugh out of me. It is then found out that the letter was fake, and that a pirate is the one who actually wrote it, in which, wait, this brings up something I'm quite confused about. Maybe I missed something earlier, but the captain's lackey seemed to only know about the treasure and brought it up to the captain once he overheard Ronald and friends talk about it. Either the captain made sure not to tell the lackey about her plan, or there's a giant plot hole I just discovered. Anyways, I'm not gonna look far into it because, this is a children's McDonald's cartoon of all things, and I don't really think a children's cartoon needs that much speculation on things either way. Soon, the captain tells King Gunga, the Grimace leader, to tell her where the treasure is, where he reluctantly tells her, immediately hoping she leaves them all alone in peace. Obviously, the captain has other plans where she threatens them with a cannon. She soon fires the cannon that turned out to be filled with fish, and all I gotta say is, man, that's really gotta smell bad. I think I'd rather get shot with a cannon than shot with tons of mackerel. As the pirates flee for the treasure, Grimace vows to go after them in an attempt to stop them after he appears scared, but being talked into it by Ronald McDonald himself. As Grimace and the gang attempt to stop the pirates, they point a cannon at them where they immediately hold their hands up, in which I don't blame them. If someone came at me with 1700s weaponry and I had nothing but a feather for defense, I think I'd give up too. After being captured, the Grimaces on the island come to the rescue of Ronald and friends. After being thanked, King Gunga tells them how Grimace has showed them that they have to be brave sometimes to overcome challenges, even if they are scared. Soon, Grimace and friends stand up to the pirates once again, where this time, they all manage to make them leave the island in fear of the retaliation. Due to Grimace's bravery, Lord Gunga gives them the treasure to Grimace Island, which is the Golden Cup of Grimace bravery. Ronald and friends all then proceed to go home, where the episode ends with another live-action sequence. Now that I'm done talking about what goes on in the episode, I'd like to share some more personal opinions on it. A very big part of the episode revolves around Grimace, and Grimace's fear being overcome and turned into bravery, which is a great message. I think it accomplishes showing the message quite well throughout the episode. It shows us the struggles being overcome, such as Grimace being afraid of the pirates, but managing to finally fend them off after previously being very scared of them. Funny enough, when I watch this cartoon, I always imagine that I'm getting into just a lackluster cartoon that's more of just an ad for McDonald's than anything. But it is clear that the creators who made it genuinely had fun with the project and they had passion for their work. The jokes were fine, but sometimes I just didn't care for them, as mentioned earlier with the Birdie and Mozart joke. I also love the sound design, but that could be because a lot of the sounds and background noises you hear are very similar to that of Rugrats, which is probably just because they were made by the same company. I don't think this is a bad thing though, as I think Klasky Supo is a great choice for their artistic worlds and characters that create a very vibrant place for Ronald and friends. Overall, I think the episode was great, if not better than the one I had watched previously. Although, maybe that's just because Grimace is kind of the main character here, and after all, he is my favorite character in this show. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and if you'd like to see more, please consider leaving a like on the video as it's greatly appreciated. And hey, if you want to be sure to know when my next videos are out, leave a subscribe to let me know that you're enjoying my work. Without anything else to say, take care, and I hope to see you all again soon in the next video.